Welcome back once more, Starladder fans. We've got another good one coming up for y'all. Cloud9 versus Hellraisers, game number 5 out of 6. Whew, what a day of Starladder it's been, man. We've seen a lot of intense games.
The picture is getting a little more clear in terms of who we're going to see at Kiev.
Yeah.
Empire looked very good today, winning 3 matches, and we saw that last game, Na'Vi.
Na'Vi looking good,
yeah. 8-3.
Yeah,
and now we're going to see a team that is on the ropes and a team that is already out.
Yeah, Cloud9, they're, as we saw yesterday with that loss, they're kind of in that stage where maybe they get lucky with a tiebreaker scenario, but it's looking a little bit grim. So
5 losses can be a bit tough to come
They
back
100% need this one.
Yeah.
One more loss for Cloud9, and there's just no way they're making top 4. Hellraisers, we'll double-check as we get in here to take a look at the grid, but I'm
pretty sure they're towards the
I'm almost positive they're already out. I don't know how many games they've played. That's the real kicker, where you can, be pretty low, but let's see here. Hellraisers, where are you?
2-5.
2-5. So yeah, they're pretty much out.
The thing for them is that they're 2-5. They haven't played that many games, and we were joking about how they'd be probably super clowny, but they're not out of it completely. They have as many losses as Cloud9 does. They're just going to have to absolutely win out.
Yeah.
And so there's another reason for them to take this game super seriously too, is to not get relegated.
Yes, that is the other thing you have to remember in Starladder. It's bottom 2, I think, have to play for their slot to be in Star Series next season.
I thought it was the bottom 2 are out, and then the next 2 have to play to stay.
Oh no, you're right. That is what it is. You're absolutely right. And usually the bottom 2 are teams that end up disbanding.
Yeah, they just quit.
If history serves, that's usually what happens.
It's like 4FC was in like 6 Starladders in a row, and then like Starladder Season 7, they were like last place, and they were like, well, guess it's time to call it quits, guys. Sorry.
Yeah.
And I think they reformed, but that squad that had been together for so long just
4FC, Starladder Heroes. So, all right, looking at this draft, we get into it a little bit late. That's one of the nice things about the long games is we have a limited downtime, which I know makes people happy. No,
Starladder admins are always boop, boop, boop.
No Zyori FM today. Doom Skywrath, very standard stuff from the Hellraisers. They get the Earthshaker, but
Cloud9
Magnus, a little bit of the Magnetar action. Always a fun hero to see. One of my absolute favorite heroes to watch in competitive Dota.
Yeah. It's good. It's good combination with Skywrath Mage. Just the same reason why we see like Centaur being strong. Blink initiation to a long duration stun just works.
Also good with Earthshaker.
Yeah.
Those big ground pounds.
All about these big earthy combos going on right now.
Mm-hmm.
Cloud9 picking up the Alchemist. I can't see this being anything but a support Alchemist. I mean, maybe it's a mid Alchemist with Safe Lane Death Prophet, but I'm guessing it's
I think if they want to make it a farming Alchemist, mid is the way to go. Yeah. And I think that he might actually be mid here, mostly because Magnus is most likely to go mid. And that is where Alchemist really shines against tanky melee heroes because of Acid Spray. Yeah. You can't stand in it. And if you stand in it, Alchemist can just go blow for blow with you, and he's going to win that boxing duel. So there's potential there, and I think if you want to do a farming Alchemist, mid is the place to be. Safe Lane Alchemist is just not.
That hasn't been good in a long time.
It's just assy. A few teams have tried to do it in this group stage of Starladder, and every time it's been
his
beyond
stat game's just too bad. Yeah. Even if you max Greevil's Greed and farm up, like
it can be good if the other team doesn't do anything about it, and they don't stop you at all, and they sit back for 20 minutes and let you get huge.
Losing the bonus HP was really bad for carry, like safe lane carry Alchemist, because burst damage, like ganking him and bursting him down, is still very effective, or became very effective, even though he got the massive HP regen. So mid's good, support's good. We'll see what they do with him. It all depends on this last pick for Cloud9.
Yep. So a lot of wombo for Cloud9 though. They just have huge team fights set up here.
Yeah, it'll be. I like to see the Tidehunter into Enigma Black Hole is very, very good. Very easy team fight execution.
Yes. And a lot of damage as well. That's the other thing about the Ravage. It's a good setup because it softens them up a little bit, so then when they're in the Black Hole, you can actually secure some kills and not just watch them run away once the Black Hole is completed.
What do you think an Ags on Tidehunter would do? Just a spitball.
I think one thing it could do is make the tentacles move faster, because that was one of the big nerfs where now they spread out a little bit slower. So that could be like a cool change that makes it better and sort of reverts it back. Like I think if it was one of those where it made them move faster, did a little more damage, and reduced the cooldown a little bit, just kind of one of those generic more Ags upgrades, that would be enough. I mean, how creative can you get with it? It goes through BKB. That would be
the tentacles like grab you and hold you and slam you against the ground or something. I don't know.
Like an extra stun. Yeah, that'd be kind of cool.
Pugna's the pick here.
So good synergy with oh god. Okay, well not again. So okay, well we had it wrong. It will be Eternal Envy in the mid. Pylai Die will be on the support Alchemist. That'll put Aoi on the Enigma. And big old Bone 7 there on the watermelon, so it will be a probably mid-profit.
He's back is against the wall. So he picks one. This is a must-win game for Cloud9.
Yeah.
Like, as much as we're talking about, like, Hellraisers might be clowning around, this, like, if they don't, we talked about it earlier, if they don't win, there's almost no chance they make it to Kiev. Yep. They need a really weird thing to happen. So, EE, when his back's against the wall, he's going to go back to what is tried and true. His Naga Siren, so.
Well, I do like this Pugna pick, though. It works really well with Skywrath and the Earthshaker. There's a lot of kill potential in that tri-lane. It's pretty ridiculous.
Remaining.
You know, you just even Pugna Earthshaker alone is really good, but Decrepify with Ancient Seal remaining. And then all the other magic damage, that's like.
I wouldn't be surprised if they go aggressive with this either.
Oh yeah, there's huge kill potential for that as an aggressive try.
It's gonna be interesting to see how these lanes end up. If they put the Tidehunter solo safe, and maybe no, they won't do that.
Well, actually, Bone 7 is headed up towards the. Looks
they're
like
all
he's
just going to go to the top lane.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
It's going to be Bone 7 solo off with. Yeah, it's just going to be standard lanes with Death Prophet. I think Death Prophet will be in the safe lane.
Yeah, that's.
I don't know. Does Envy usually go? Does Envy always go mid with his Naga Siren?
No, I've seen it both ways. I think.
Okay. I think it might make more sense for him to be safe lane.
I want to say he's going to be safe lane, and Fada will go mid. I think that's what'll happen. But
okay.
More often than not, he's gone safe lane. I feel like I've seen a few games where he's gone mid, but most of the ones I've cast where he's gone Naga, it was safe lane. And that really epic game I cast with Blaze, whatever it was, a week and a half ago, that was a safe lane Naga as well. And he does go for the more fighting style build, usually brown boots into Aquila, into Drum of Endurance, looks to knock down a tower, get a little bit active, and if they move into his lane, we'll fight a bit, and then pull up for the Radiance there and look for more, something like a 20-minute Radiance rather than that like 12, 14-minute Radiance rush.
Right.
And I think that is
going to
kind of the new
top
standard.
Too. They want to go in and block these Enigma camps. And Cloud9 is well aware of that, so we've got a fight over the jungle.
Yep. And this could be an interesting level 1 skirmish squad. Enigma, never really a great hero to have when you're at level 1 skirmish because, well, he wants to make Eidolons at level 1, but here we go. Fissure comes out to separate Cloud9 up a bit. Actually, a good Fissure.
Stuck down, but they don't really have any follow-up.
Yeah, no follow-up, but they will be able to make it through. Do they have any wards to put down? We see pings coming out. Dread saying, get the wards down. Come on, guys. That's our opening. And now, will they be able to find a recovery kill? Pylai die, went Acid Spray, not Unstable Concoction.
They didn't place any of these sentries.
And, yeah, they just can't. I mean, Cloud9 positioned themselves, so it's
Cloud9 effectively defends their jungle.
Run into us and die, or run away and don't get your wards down. Those are your two options, so Hellraisers will play it safe and they'll back up, but this will be a good story for Owie 2000 out of the gate.
Indeed. And bottom, we'll see a haste stream set up, and we will see a safe lane try between the Earthshaker, Skywrath, and the Pugna going on to the Tidehunter. I think that's smart. I talked about possibly it being aggressive, but you want to keep the Pugna safe as much as possible.
I think this actually would have been a good game for the aggressive just because Enigma's in the jungle, so it's mostly going to be, it's like a 2.5 versus 3 in the top. But
there's still a lot of kill potential for Alchemy. Like, that's still 3 targeted stuns with Enigma's, Malefice, Unstable Concoction, and the net. Like, if they get any of those out on the Pugna, you can chain them together and he might just go down.
That's actually true. And also the Acid Spray on top of the Riptide, there's a lot of synergy there.
Yeah,
and that gets,
it's a tough lane.
It's sticky. So, all right, Owie will lose one of his camps. Actually lose 2 of them. Their Observer Ward does end up coming down as the Doom rotates through the jungle. So he will at least get that first camp, which is a step in the right direction. He has a sentry, and we'll be able to take out this one. We'll have to move into the tree line here. Oh, actually, it is on the other side of the trees. So just needs to move to the other side. We'll be able to find a free D ward, and we'll start farming away. So not all bad for the Enigma. Just loses 1 camp, and all things considered, he'll be pretty happy with that. So Doom's in the off lane. That puts Yoki mid on the Magnus. As you pointed out, the safe lane try here. And they should have a pretty easy time against Bone 7, but they haven't zoned him out completely. They've allowed him to get level 2, and that's a huge milestone for the Tide in the off lane. Having that Kraken Shell and Anchor Smash, big abilities to really up your survival, though. In this case, the Anchor Smash, not as big of a deal, but ooh, Dread up in the top lane. Highlight Die will charge up the Concoction, connects with a pretty good duration stun. But now Pylai Die will start taking some damage. Envy's coming up here. He does not have a net scaled up. First blood will be secured. And Dread really knowing his limits there. And even without the armor, just man's up. And Envy can't do anything about it. If he had a net, it would have been enough to save his buddy. But
that toughness aura, though.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, you're right. There you go.
Illusion.
Great one for Doom to have in the belly.
And Pi, he's angry. He's going to go ahead and posture for maybe a return kill, but I don't think that, I think Dread has just got too much right now.
He wants the vengeance, as he well should. First blood for the offlane Doom is great news for the Hellraisers. So now he'll find some recovery, way ahead of the Tide Hunter down in the bottom lane.
Going on bone, but then I'm going to be able to follow it up with enough damage.
Yep, he'll be able to make it back.
Artstall's really low. He's going to have to pop this out.
Yeah. Now they'll start pushing into the tower, and this is where Pugna kind of shines. They've got a big creep wave shoving into it. Tide will pull a couple of the melee creeps off it. But there's still plenty of others to lay into it. And Artstall only level 2 Nether Blast here. It's still very early on in the lane.
But he's almost got his arcane boots.
Too much. Yeah.
Opting to skip the Basilius, which we'll sometimes see on a Pugna, but there's not going to be nearly as much skirmishing as you normally see in a Pugna lane. So I think just opting for the really early arcane boots is the right decision here.
Mid lane, how are we looking? Fada 17-1 versus the 13-1 Magnus. So a fairly even trade. You expect the DP to outfarm him a little bit. So pretty standard stuff there, but Yoki's still holding his own, and we'll be looking for just a Blink Arcanes, standard stuff there.
Yeah, it's looking great for the Hellraisers right now. I mean, if they can get this Pugna farmed up, that's one of the better ways to counter a Naga Siren just in general. It's weird that I guess Cloud9 was just dead set on picking the Naga Siren, but Pugna, on top of just being able to push down a Naga before she really gets to critical mass, getting Ags and getting Life Drain is instantly killing her illusions. So it's one of the better ways to deal with a Naga Siren, and if Artstall has a good game, we might see a Hellraisers win here.
It's true. Yeah.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
It'll be interesting to see how this Pugna builds. Right into the Ags, if he ends up going for the Necro Book. I think Ags is probably a better choice. They don't need to be so all-in with the push, and the Necro Book just won't give them quite enough utility, I think, as their like big position 1 farming item. Right. Tide grabs a Haste Rune. He is sitting level 4, but doing the very defensive build. No point in the Gush. So not a hell of a lot they can do here. Just looking at an opportunity to move in on Yoki, who is yet to find his RP.
And Pylite Eyes come down. They want to try to defend this tower for as long as possible. They even use the glyph now. Yeah, it's not. This tower is not going to be very, very long for life.
As they say with Pugna, it's not a matter of if; it is a matter of when. Right. So, well, 5-minute mark. That's actually pretty decent for the Pugna. You can get it maybe a little faster now. Pylite die takes the decrep. There's all the follow-up damage, and yeah, that's the power of this tri-lane. So much damage. Even the Nether Ward comes down. And this will be your first tower kill, going the way of the Hellraisers. That is Artstall to pick up the last hit on the Pugna. That'll help out his farm quite a bit, as Bone 7 actually takes out a decent stack in the Radiant jungle, but needs to be a little careful. Dubas comes in, and we'll grab a couple of the last hits, but Bone 7's still pretty happy with this. Despite the potential rotation, this is very risky from Bone 7 here. And now Skyrest there with the slow. He'll get punched down by the Earthshaker, and this is a death. Yeah, he'll fall.
3-0 on the way of the Hellraisers. Cloud9 back against the wall, and they are struggling right now in this early game.
Yeah, Strug City. It is the Hellraisers with almost a 3,000 gold lead, but Cloud9 have a bit of an experience edge, and they're not out of it yet. EE is farming pretty well. He will grab his Arcane Boots and Ring of Basilius. This is one of the an EE Sama style Naga Siren. He loves those early Arcane Boots, so he can be a little more liberal with the Riptide and his illusions. And does help him farm a bit faster. So it's a bit atypical. Most Nagas will stay on brown boots and then just go right into the BOTs, but this is
in
his
this
way
game
of farming.
He's going to need it.
Yeah.
He's going to be getting pressured very soon. So
and basically what he'll do is he'll still go into BOTs, just do it a lot later on, and you know, it's good. The Arcane Boots can be disassembled as well, so you can just go into your brown boots and then you know, you're just hanging on to a casual energy booster. It's not that bad, and then eventually you can just sell it back for 500 value. So if you think about 500 gold investment for all that mana sustain it gives you and how many Riptides you can use, it's pretty cost effective.
So Pugna's going to go straight for the Necro Book, pretty standard.
Okay, so he's going to do the Necro Book. Yeah, I liked what you said about the Ags with, you know, looking at...
I think it's better after the Necro Book.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, that's true. Yeah, the Necro Book, let's see, what does it give him here? Mana burn. It's just a good solid item on the Pugna. It does up his damage output and lets him push harder.
They're just going up against the Naga Siren, so they're just going to try to push her in.
Yeah. I mean, I guess I like the thought process. Well, it is fairly standard, though. You'll see. I think more often than not, the Necro come out over the Ags.
Right. I've seen Atos before, and I actually like that a lot because of how squishy Pugna is.
You like Atos in general, man. I feel like every time Atos gets brought up, I really like the Atos here. It's like I've never heard you say, That Atos,
not a good pickup.
Icky.
I mean, how often does someone pick up an Atos? It's pretty rare that it's a bad pickup.
That's a fair point. Yeah, cloud9 will try to TP out in the top lane, but that's not happening. They've got the damage to bring him down. Doom onto Owie. He does have the black hole available and a soul ring, so we'll have the mana if need be. But now throws out the Malefice, looking for the kill on Yoki. Will they be able to find it?
Crit Swarm barely misses.
Wow.
That actually looked like it hit on the screen, but I guess not. I guess he was just at the end of it. Yeah. I think the animation goes a little fast where it actually hits.
It's right where it starts to kind of break up. You see those effects that it doesn't extend all the way to those last few little particles. But wow, close call. That will still make it 4-0 for the Hellraisers, and more space creation in the bottom lane as Artstyle pressuring this bottom tower very hard. He's level 6, so we'll just life drain a creep and another Nether Blast here. This tower will be getting pretty darn low. They will start to rotate down. Cloud9 do not want to give up a tier 2 tower this early on for nothing.
Earthshaker's so good with the Pugna just for the ability to just save him, basically. Even with the Belt of Strength, only 720 HP.
It's like he has the ability to save him, and then also if they want to set things up, he can throw fissures in that does a lot of damage, help him set up kills without really committing too much himself.
And Envy, he is so worried about this Pugna that he has even rotated down bottom to try to stop this tower push, and now he'll go out and try to make something happen actually here. Pop Illusion's going to go into the jungle.
Still just sitting on the Basilius. Will probably move into the Aquila next. Like I mentioned, he likes to go for the drums more often than not. But he's actually not off to the fastest start here. His farm was looking really good, but now all of a sudden he's just middle of the pack.
Well, Dread got that first blood and he was able to bully him around up top.
Yeah, now Dread's farm is looking pretty damn good as well. Has Tranquil Boot, 700 gold to boot.
Yeah. I wonder if, considering the Pugnas on the team,
Dread almost has a mech too. Wow,
that's what he's going for. He's going for the mech.
He's 150 gold off the completed item. He has the 2 pieces on the courier already.
I was kind of worried he might go for the Midas instead, but I think that mech is the right decision for sure.
Yeah. Yeah, you don't want to go late against the Naga. They're just going to try to do as much damage as they can.
Dread might fall here. They're going to try to get in range with the Unstable Concoction. It will, but not enough damage.
Owie, not enough mana for the Black Hole again. This time he doesn't have the Soul Ring. So Dread will live. Meanwhile, in the bottom lane, Fada uses an Exorcism. Dubas with a nice fissure there. Ravage is forced to be deployed onto Artstyle just so that Bone 7 can survive. But now Artstyle, no mana. He'll just TP out. Nice heads-up play as he knows there's no way to interrupt it. And Dubas will try to do the same thing. He won't be so lucky, though. Fada's there to bring him down.
And up top as that action was going on as well, after cloud9 tried to go in onto the Dread, they got brought down. The Doom from Dread was enough to take down Pi. He tried to TP away, but the Doom broke it. And, nice Arcane Bolt was enough to kill him.
And that's exchange down bottom. I mean, even though they got the kill on the Earthshaker, that's almost a wasted Ravage. He kind of needed it to stay alive, but a defensive Ravage like that, that's huge.
Yeah. It can be needed and still be a waste.
Yeah, definitely. So now the Hellraisers are like, well, that's one of their big abilities to defend these outer towers is when the Ravage is up, sets up for the Black Hole as we talked about in the draft, and that's really scary. But with it on cooldown, they can be a lot more aggressive and really be eager to take team fights knowing they have a huge edge over Cloud9.
And Dread's got his first Necro book up.
And
the first Necro book is not very scary. It's just scary that he's working on.
Already has a Necro book at the 10-minute mark. Yeah,
working his way up.
And Dread with the mech, and now we'll probably look for a set of drums with that Robe of the Magi. So up top, looks like a skirmish could break out as the Hellraisers have rotated 4. Earthshaker is going to stay bottom and try to defend this tower against Envy, who is just finding some nice space to farm. I like the movements from Envy to avoid the fighting, but Hellraisers will probably be able to grab a tower out of this. Black Hole, still an option for Owie 2000, but the bigger problem is where's the follow-up damage? I guess Alchemist can throw a concoction and acid spray,
Radiant's middle tower
is under a little more than that.
Yeah, they're going to group up here and try to take down this tower. Artstyle still got a fair amount of
plenty of Manskis. Yeah, now this tower will just start taking a lot of damage. You see the positioning from Owie and Pi. They just don't want to get caught. They'll do anything they can to try and delay, but really don't want to fight. Meanwhile, in the mid lane, Fada finds the tier 1 tower kill there, so that will make it 1-1 in total tower count. And not a very successful fight or push from Hellraisers up top. No. They do a little bit of chip damage and just ultimately spread out and go back to farming. There's your blink on Magnus, though.
11 minutes, pretty good.
Yeah, and that's always a big one. Yeah. Comparable to your Blink Dagger on all those other classic Blink Dagger carries, but or cores rather, but big one on him in particular. And now
the items just come in.
Yeah,
Owie's mech, Yule's on the Death Prophet.
And the blink on the Tidehunter, probably the biggest of the bunch,
So
gives him some longer range.
3 really needed item pickups from Cloud9 here.
Down bottom, Envy, he gets hit by a dunk, and now the Mystic Flare flies through. That's a dead Siren. Nice setup there. And he had a song, but nice heads-up play from Dulas just to throw out the dunk when there were creeps nearby. Totally caught Envy unaware. Meanwhile, in the top lane, Pi will take a Doom to the face as Dread continues to chase him down. He does have Chemical Rage on, so this won't be an easy kill. Doom connects with the ensnare, dives the tower. The follow-up is here. The cavalry has arrived, and that will be a kill. TP's coming in. Ravage and a black hole. It's a whiff.
Nothing.
Oh, Owie 2000. That is an Owie indeed. Now Bone 7 has the Ravage still, but again, was the follow-up going to be Yoki? Still has his RP.
Yeah, I was going to say, he's still sitting on his RP. I think he just is going to have to need to blow it and TP out, I guess.
Yeah, I don't know exactly what the plan is here. Creating some space, and there you go. We'll use it just to make the escape. Make space. They finish off the tower, and normally that you'd say, not the best RP, but I think there it's
secure the tower kill and him living. So
I think that's perfectly acceptable.
I think even more so than not dying, he just needs to not give a kill to Cloud9. So that worked out very well.
Yeah, absolutely. So, all right. Hellraisers. I'm not sure what the black hole with Owie was. I don't know if that was a miscommunication or he thought that the Ravage was going to help set it up. But yeah, Bone 7 didn't even use the Ravage there. So.
It's probably a small miscalculation, thinking he was going to get both of them.
Yeah, right on the edge and sucking forward.
It was like it's kind of a greedy black hole. He like thought he was going to get both and ended up getting either of them.
Yep. So now moving into the Roche pit here with
thankfully with
acid spray. It's
with Alchemist and Enigma, this is pretty easy. So it's a good comeback mechanism.
Absolutely. Step in the right direction for Cloud9. Cover some of that lost footing. They still have an experience edge, but Hellraisers with a pretty serious tower advantage here. Top lane. Glyph will come out as Naga's doing a lot of damage to the tower. Dread just wants to finish it off. Envy doing that Envy strategy to try and keep him asleep while the illusions finish the tower, but he miscalculates. Doom gets the deny. Meanwhile, in the mid lane, Magnus and Pugna both get jumped on as Bone 7 shows off that
coming
Ravage.
out of the Roche, and so they were able to get to a really good position.
Middle tower is under attack.
So, minor victory for the Hellraisers, but Cloud9 do find the better of them there. Unfortunately, though, Envy doesn't get anything out of it. So even though they get a couple of kills, that's good. Naga's the one they really need the farm on. He'll go ahead and just buy the Radiance recipe. You don't see this very often.
It's an investment, man. It's an investment. Got to make sure that gold gets turned into something solid.
He's just trying to burn that unreliable gold, but just a complete rarity. That sort of just goes to show how Eternal Envy's feeling about the state of the game.
Yes, right? It also, the fact that Fada was the Aegis holder as well. It showed that we have to put this on someone who can contribute right now.
Yeah, and now bottom lane, the Death Prophet and Enigma will be able to knock down the tower.
Necro minions come out, level 2.
Yeah, HR will do the same thing here in the mid. Artstyle just spamming that Q. Dread takes the silence as he's in the front lines, does have a Doom as well as an Ensnare, so he can certainly set up some kills. Bone 7, no Ravage for another 80 seconds. A great time for the Hellraisers to try to take the fight. And DP will TP in, has an ulti cooling down in about 5 seconds. So maybe a window of opportunity. She'll get hit by a fissure, but HR won't commit too much for it. Meanwhile, in the top lane, Envy just ratting away.
Yeah, he'll send these illusions in. They'll get some chip damage.
Dire's middle tower is under attack. Radiant's top tower is under attack.
Just chipping at the tier 2 in the mid, slow and steady. No glyph on the Dire.
Dire's middle
Without a glyph or a Ravage, they can feel pretty comfortable pushing. But I like the idea from Cloud9. Owie in the bottom, chipping at this tier 2. Envy in the top, chipping at this one, and they're not doing crippling damage here, but just soften them up.
Indirect pressure.
Yeah.
They can't really run at them, so they have to pressure them in more indirect, safe ways. Yeah. And split pushing the side lanes is the exact way to do it.
And it pulls Hellraisers into this like very inefficient path where they go to the tier 2, and now they kind of separate to go bottom. And if Owie gets scouted here, then they'll be okay. Ooh, yeah, he gets scouted out straight away. And can he bring him down? No, nope, not enough damage. Yep, the mech making it happen. So Owie survives to almost unscathed, and the tower goes down in this bottom position.
Artstyle is about to have his Necro 3. He'll have it in about 5 seconds.
Yep. There you go. Yeah, I'm starting to feel like even though Hellraisers are looking okay, they're just not doing enough. They've only taken out 4 towers, and that's exactly how...
4 towers in 16 minutes is pretty good, dude.
Yeah, but how many towers has Cloud9 taken?
That's
exactly
true.
4.
That's true. It's an equal amount of towers.
As we've talked about before, you take those towers for that early investment, and it costs you an experience. Now C9 are up by about 6,000, and gold is dipping in favor of the Dire side. So this is getting a little scary. Naga's still going to be big, even though she's been delayed.
That was one of the bigger things. If you look at my statistics and numbers, as we see Dread taking a lot of damage, and he's going to be able to get
the RP coming in to try to turn things around. That'll proc the Aegis. Aoi coming in, Black Hole at the ready. Can he find the proper opening this time? Pride is on the line here. Aoi, Fada comes right back up, gets mech'd, and will take the Doom. They'll try to chase him down. Yoki blinks forward, Art Styles there, and yeah, that's a dead Fada. Aoi can't find, oh, he used it.
I didn't.
I totally missed that Black Hole. I don't know if it was interrupted or if he canceled it.
Oh, no. I think he did the thing where you throw it down and you try to cancel it and you don't cancel it in time.
I did not see a Black Hole come out.
I didn't see it either. I think he tried to stop cancel and didn't do it in time. Like, if you do it, like, just too slow, you won't even see the Black Hole come out.
Right. Yeah, it's that very, like, it's like just as that little middle part is starting to form, it dissipates right away, so you don't.
Either he got stunned immediately somehow. I'm not sure.
Yeah, remind me. We're gonna go back and look at that replay. I want to see what happened there.
We're focused on Fada falling again.
Regardless, yeah, it's still that's another wasted Black Hole and cloud9. Ooh, this is getting a little bit. Oh wait, no, oh, that's a step in the right direction. Now levels. Why do I keep hitting that button? It keeps leveling things out a bit. Now highlight die. He's gonna get caught in. Right as I was thinking, Hellraisers were in some trouble because they weren't getting enough momentum. Cloud9, he plays like that, and they waste their Aegis now in the bottom lane. Envy gets jumped on by Dread, but will just Song of the Siren and TP home.
He's not that far from his Radiance, though.
Yeah.
That's not a terrible timing, especially considering the amount of pressure he's been under.
Yeah, I still think Cloud9 kind of have this. Oh, Ravage on 2. Takes them both
very
so
low. They really shouldn't have been there.
Yeah, Bone 7 will clean it up. Now Aoi takes the silence and will get caught in the ensnare, but there's plenty of support inbound. And yeah, HR won't be able to grab any recovery kills. So I still think, even though HR have been finding like these decent fights, Cloud9 are still in really good shape towards the mid lane, or late game. Towards, like you said, Naga, very close to the Radiance, and still a good enough timing that he'll be able to skyrocket his farm. And HR also just didn't invest in any farming tools. They have no Midas, they have 3 Blink Daggers, and even though Envy's been a little bit delayed, he's still going to pick up massive amounts of farm.
Yeah, that was really the thing at TI that I think Newbie did better than any other team. Like, if you go back and look at the numbers, Vici and Newbie both had like some of the highest first blood rates, some of the shortest average game times, like fastest towers to take. But while Vici had the lowest team XPM of any team at TI at the actual event, Newbie was like 3rd or 4th. So Newbie was a lot better about getting the same objectives as Vici was, which is pushing fast, getting first bloods, but they were able to do it in efficient ways that weren't complete death balls, right?
Yeah, not that all in, like, if we don't knock down all the towers by 20 minutes, we
lose. Yeah. Or Vici was a lot more like straight up, like, if we don't push it down, we lose because we've got no experience on any of our heroes. And so we see from C9, they've been able to push just as well as Hellraisers are, but they've been able to do it with less 5-man commitments. The problem is they've given up a lot more kills because of that. Yeah. So it's just which is more beneficial, having more levels on all of your heroes and better general farm, or letting the other team kind of get better engagements in the middle game and skirmishes.
Yeah. Now Death Prophet finds her Black King bar, first item after the Yule Scepter, and of course the Naga Radiance has been picked up. So
another thing about Tyra,
oh, solo RP right onto Fada. He'll get skewered into the team, but he has a duel. That'll reset it, and yeah, not the best synergy. BKB gets used, and will use the Exorcism. Finishes off the Skywrath. Now they're going on
just going to melt to the Exorcism.
Yeah, he got juiced, and well, this is not looking so hot for the Hellraisers here. Dread now caught in the ensnare. Concoction channeling up, and yeah, there's no way he'll survive that one. Even a Midnight Pulse.
He's really tanky, but there's no backup time.
Yeah, he's got a lot of armor now with the Tranks and Plate Mail, but oh boy.
Cloud9 looking good, using this farming and experience advantage to their favor and taking these mid-game engagements. Yep. Very smart.
And Bone 7, he'll just start working right towards a refresher. Perseverance already complete, 2,300 gold. He's not that far away, considering we're 21 minutes in. And that's a really scary item pickup on Tide, always at any stage in the game, but this early on, pretty game-breaking. If you get it this early, the great thing about it is the damage output is pretty ridiculous. You know, when this damage doesn't scale that well, but you know, 600 damage out of the gate with the double Ravage is a pretty good way to start off a team fight. And he does have Arcane Boots, so he does have some mana sustainability.
That far from level 16, and that is a massive 900.
Yeah. That's where mana becomes a little bit more tricky, but
yeah, if you blink Arcane's ult, refresh
Radiant's
Arcane.
top tower is
yeah,
under
you got to
attack.
do the double arcane.
And I mean, Bone 7's good enough to know to do that.
Yeah, certainly.
He can also be at level 16 at that point, and that's a fair amount more intelligence.
Yeah, good point.
Radiant's top tower
So
is under
BKB
attack.
complete on Owie 2000 now, and still a 10-second chart. So maybe, just maybe, he can find a good black hole. 3 Blink Daggers are still online, and now Pugna either looking. Oh, that'll be an Aghanim Scepter coming out next. Ogre Club and Staff of Wizardry.
Dyer's
8
middle
to
tower
10.
is
Cloud9
under attack.
have to defend their high ground here. Hellraisers
structures
feeling
are
the
fortified.
pressure, feeling the burn, as they say, with that Naga Siren. And they'll do what damage they can, but they're getting close to kind of all-in
Radiant's
territory
bottom
here.
tower
Maybe
is
not
under
with this
attack.
push, not this fight, but if they get cleaned up in this fight, that's where things will be very difficult.
It's still so squishy, and they're going to song on him.
Naga is very low.
Up.
And they'll
Oh,
back
Dread
up.
blinking in.
There's your black hole on 1.
2. They caught Dread. Dread actually blinked into the song.
Yeah.
And got caught in the black hole.
Okay, now that's a dead Pugna to get things started. And Bone 7 will take the Mystic Flare.
Not
He'll
enough.
still survive,
But
and
his
now
Arcane
he's on the
Bolt
run.
should be
He
enough to
spent his items, or spent his gold rather, so minimizing losses, but not really the ideal team fight. Meanwhile, on the bottom, Fodder was pushing hard, did a lot of damage to the tier 3 tower.
That's good for
And
C9.
Yeah, and does some significant damage there, and will
does
get
get
interrupted on his TP out. Now he's in the middle of nowhere with no
That was
escape.
kind of greedy not to pop his BKB before trying to CP.
Yeah.
And now he's going to pay for it. If he doesn't get away, he's really fast.
Oh my gosh, now he'll use his
now he'll have
BKB.
some
Is he
BKBs.
actually going to live here? Naga Siren Illusions coming in, and RP to make sure that they secure this
So
kill.
he's still not dead yet, and he's very fast.
Yep, now the silence. He's on the run. Oh my gosh. Almost.
Cue the Benny Hill music, and he will fall.
Well, close call, but yeah, he doesn't survive to tell the tale that time.
I mean, if Fada doesn't die there, that's a good trade for C9. But even now, like, that's a fair amount of space. They were able to defend their high ground. Does Envy have his Radiance? Yes, he does.
Oh, yeah.
And a lot of money on top of it, so I think that's okay.
Yeah.
Hellraisers is on a clock here. They really have to push high ground in the next 6 minutes, or
Yeah. That last little fight
it's
was
looking pretty bad for them.
basically a break even, but you have to factor in that tower basically died. It has 30 hit points, so
Here it is. Fada's dead, so they're going to try to push the high ground here.
yeah. Bone 7 has no Ravage. He's farming Ancients. Naga's in the top lane trying to get a
Ali
tier
does not
2.
have Black Hole.
They'll try to make it happen. This is a big window. Midnight Pulse is very valuable in this kind of a situation. See how much damage it does. That on top of the acid spray.
A lot of AoE.
Pretty ridiculous, but tier 3
Radiant's
tower
top
goes
tower
down,
is
and
under
now they'll just
attack.
start focusing on the barracks.
It's also amazing that
They get barracks here, though.
Nether Blast on Barracks is so good.
Yep. They'll get at
Radiant's
least
top
the range
tower
rack,
is
so
under
Hellraiser's
attack.
still in it.
Okay.
They're getting kind of like the bare bones they need to
Dyer's
stay in this
middle
game.
barracks
They'll
is
need another
fallen.
lane of racks pretty soon to continue with this momentum, but that was a big step in the right direction. So that is one problem with the Cloud9 lineup.
They want to go in, Bone 7 Blink. Okay.
Very
fine,
cooldown
follow.
reliant. Yeah, no Ravage, so no way he's going to get that. But Dread
Dread.
comes in.
I don't
Doom on
know
Fada.
what team isn't there.
That was just one of those ambitious Dooms. Like, guys, I got him. Oh, wait. No one else has a Blink Dagger that can follow up with me. Oh, bummer.
So
Dubas is now level 11, so Echo Slam is getting potent. But
And what is Artstar going to be working towards next? It's going to be the Aghanim Scepter, which is smart.
Yep.
Once
Help
again,
him
somebody
tank
else
up.
not getting the point booster part of the Ags build up, which is
Yeah.
interesting to me.
On Pugna especially, like he's pretty squishy, and you just
It's
usually
the
want
Ogre
those
Club.
tanky items. Yeah.
I guess it was just he probably didn't have time to go to the side shot. They're so important. They're so focused on hitting the high ground. They just wanted to get as effective HP and mana as possible.
Yep. Magnus has the
Without
Force
having to go to
Staff.
the
Dubas finds his Force Staff, but Tide, he has a Refresher. It's
Oh,
complete.
wow.
That
They've been
is-
Cloud9 has been doing this a lot. They'll go straight Blink Refresher.
Yeah, he does have Arcane Boots to be fair, but it's so good on Tide. I mean, I like having another hero that can grab the neck, because it opens up Tide to do this, and now how do you deal with the double Ravage? Basically, Cloud9 just have to win one huge team fight, with HR having not that many buybacks or most of their cooldowns expended, and they can do some crippling damage. Roche will go down for the second time, but using that dire advantage.
And they
they'll
do the
smoke out of the
Cloud9
pit.
thing, which is they'll take Roche and immediately smoke.
So, on the aggressive.
And they're going to catch Dread.
Oh, boy. Yule's perfect way to start it off. Breaks the Blink Dagger. He'll get force stabbed away. Envy starting this off with the Song of the Siren. Will find 3. And what's the follow-up here? Is it a black hole? He actually finds 4 as Dread gets caught off to the side. That's where they'll focus there, but Bone 7 does use the first Ravage. Fada helping him out. 2 fights kind of breaking out as the Skywrath Mage goes down first. Envy chasing down Dread. And we'll be able to bring him down, I think. Meanwhile, on the backside of the fight, yeah, that'll just sort of peter out.
Bone 7 got skewered back in and forced to pop his second Ravage to keep from dying. He lived with about 100 life points, maybe fewer.
So that kind of split up, though. Did not work in favor of the Hellraisers. Envy just cleaned it up. As you see here, he'll split his boots, hanging onto that energy booster, and now just moving on to the BOTs.
Yeah, it's starting to look a lot better for cloud9. They kind of held out. They did lose a Rax, but
it's just a ranged Rax, though. So that's the other thing is melee. If it was a melee Rax, then you'd see that as a bigger advantage. But
yeah, and they have 4 heroes that are almost at 10,000 net worth. So
yep,
they've been able to farm up while Hellraisers is grouped. C9 has done that C9 thing, taking advantage of the map, making sure they have as many farmed heroes in the late game as possible, and they're going to try to defend this.
Yeah, one thing that cloud9 is just so good at is fighting on their terms, choosing when they want to take fights in the proper location, either at their high ground or when they have a numbers advantage, and just not letting the other team catch them off guard, and also just staying split around the map but not getting picked off. That's really where they shine. And well, they'll have 80 seconds until the Ravage is up here. It's one of the nice things about the Tide Refresher is they're on basically the same cooldown, so it's not one of those. It's a little more difficult when the cooldowns are kind of lopsided and you get stuck in that. Do I really want to refresh now? But for Tide, it's kind of a no-brainer. That's come up at just about the exact same timing.
Yeah. And Pugna is going to get the Aghanim Scepter, which will help tank him up a bit, and is a good way to deal with these Naga illusions.
Yeah.
As a 0 cooldown.
Yeah.
Means you can just break them, break them, break them.
Yeah. Cloud9 will just slow down the tempo here and go back to farming, get that next round of items. The Death Prophet has 4,000 gold and an open slot, so Fada can move into kind of whatever he wants here. He'll come out to the side shop, and it'll be hard. No big surprise, but great news on him. And now Owie with 2,500 gold. He could be working on a Blink, or could also just be looking for a refresher of his own. With the Song of the Siren to set up, he may be thinking,
I'm thinking refreshers probably.
Do I really need that initiation tool when I can just have a double black hole?
That's so much, though. Like, so much team fight. Like, do they even need that much? Well, I guess it's less for a double black hole and more of not having to deal with a 200-second cooldown.
Yeah.
I think. I don't think they'll be getting much double black holes off in fights with double Ravage as well.
Yeah, it's just that potential to have like the second black hole when you need it in subsequent fights when your first one is still on cooldown. I think you're definitely right.
Making
about
black
that.
hole have a 100-second cooldown instead of 200 seconds.
Bottom or top tier 2 will be denied. That leaves only one outer tower remaining for HR. It's tier 2 in the mid lane. And Cloud9 just back out. But
Cloud9's able to has pushed just as effectively as Hellraisers are, with the exception of this mid-rack, of course.
Yeah, but like no, that's the big issue.
Dealing with a Pugna and having a Naga Siren, it's really surprising that the towers are this even.
Yeah, and now Naga is at that point where Cloud9 are happy just to sit back and take good fights when they can, but really if they can just sit back and let Envy continue farming up, they know they've got that late game secured. Death Prophet still topping the net worth chart as well. Envy with 4,000 gold. We'll see what he wants to move into. And it's just a Yasha, so going for the efficient farming items still. And we'll probably just move on to the Manta so he can hang on to that energy booster just a little while longer.
All right, it'll be the Yule Scepter from Skywrath Mage. That's an interesting choice.
Oh, no Atos. Bummer. But I think it's pretty solid here. Gives him a little bit of reset.
No,
if you
it's a bad choice because it's not Atos.
Yeah.
No, it's good.
Yeah.
It's the most effective like mana availability item in the game.
Yeah, and it's also
like
just
the amount it gives you and how fast you regen for the cost.
It's really good against Tide too. Because if you have fast fingers, you see him blink in. If you can Yules at least one of the Ravages, that's a big deal.
Also, if you're caught outside of the black hole, Skywrath finally has a way to deal with Enigma's channeling. You can break it somehow. Yeah,
that's a good point. Bottom tier 3 has gone down. Yep, and Cloud9 will just push in. Yule's right out onto the Pugna, and the Exorcism deployed to boot. Cloud9 just going to slow siege it and let Fada stay in the front lines. He is holding on to the Aegis of the Immortal. Doesn't really want to go down, given he has his ultimate deploy. We all know how that mechanic works, but still kind of the ideal target to take some chunk damage here. Art Style will start the life drain, but gets interrupted straight away, and C9 just being so patient. Owie did not pick up Blink, but Doom goes right in. Dread in the front lines. BKB used by Owie. First Ravage comes out from Bone 7. Still has the Refresher available as the Skywrath goes down first. They'll isolate Dread here as he's in some trouble. The Echo Slam flies through from Dubas, but just not enough damage. Owie may fall to the Doom, to the Wrath of Time here. He's the Met Carrier, just needs to survive. They're going to have to deny him, and they will get that. So it's a 1 for 2, and they minimize the income for Hellraisers. 2 very low health heroes, the Doom and the Pugna, and Cloud9 just can't finish them off.
They still have Okay, I'm surprised they weren't going to still go in there. Still had 1 Ravage and... no, they had Song as well, so they could have maybe tried to go for it and Song and then backed out, but that's fine.
Yeah, and he even refreshed for that that second Ravage too, so...
Yeah, didn't end up using it.
Yeah, a little unfortunate for Bone 7, but... Good initiation from Hellraisers, though. I like that they were bold enough to just hop out of the base there and say, all right, well, if we fight on our barracks, they'll probably go down, so they took the fight outside of the base, and... Well, it made it a lot easier for him, that's for damn sure. BKB now complete on the Magnus, and Pugna with 1,500 gold still hasn't found anything following that. But now this Alchemist, this is one of the nice things about the position 5 Alchemist is even him in the position 4 as well. He can start to transition into kind of a carry once you pass that 30-minute mark. With the Medallion and Power Treads alone, the Acid Strike just lets him farm stacks, and now he'll be close to a BKB with Ogre Club already secured.
I've got a team of 5 carries.
Yeah, basically. And now 10,000 gold, 20,000 experience for Cloud9. Things looking a lot more grim for Hellraisers. Just hit E for a second. Just look at that chart. You'll see a lot of red floating towards the top, and Alchemist is right in the middle of the fray. So that is one of the bigger disparities with Death Prophet at level 18.
I think this is why one of the reasons like Cloud9 did so well at TI. They're really good. They're one of the best teams at countering the Death Ball without it being just a Death Ball. Like, they don't counter the Death Ball with the Death Ball. They counter it with using the rest of the map and outlasting them. And that's why I think they were able to do so well against a lot of the Chinese teams that were implementing those strategies, the same as was other teams that were trying to do those strategies. And it's showing here. They're familiar with the strategy. They know how to deal with a Pugna. Envy was not scared of picking a Naga into a Pugna. It picked it after seeing the Pugna come out. So.
Yes, there's no fear to be had with that one, that's for damn sure. But now a Smoke from Cloud9. They've got all of their ultimates available. Tide does have his refresher in 20 seconds, so we'll be a little delayed till he can double Ravage, but they might only need 1. First Ravage to start things off. Will connect on 2, just barely clips the Skywrath Mage. Dubas will be the first to fall. Yoki comes in, cancel casts the RP, but still uses that BKB and doesn't find anything out of it. Mystic Flare tickles the Tide, and he'll be back. Stoning the Siren from Envy will set things up. And follow-up won't be there. So just a 1-for-0 trade with the first Ravage. Refresher is now available on the Tide. And Cloud9 can choose how they want to continue to pursue. There is still an Exorcism and a Black Hole. Will they use them? Doesn't look like it. Cloud9 being very, very cautious here.
Oh, they have, yeah, I was going to say they have, but they don't have, do they have Refresh? Yeah, they have Refresh. So they do have a Ravage and a Black Hole. I'm not sure why they're being so careful.
Yeah, I guess they just
maybe they realize that there's no reason to not be careful.
Right, there's
to be honest.
Well, there's just
no harm in it.
Yeah, they have the late game, so they don't need to be. They're not on the clock, so they say, you know what? We're not going to give them what they want. We'll make them come to us, and while they're not coming to us, we'll just sit back and farm. We'll clear out their jungle. We'll clear out our jungle. Make good use of our ancients. Is Fada now moving into probably a Shivas with that plate mail, possibly an Assault Cuirass, a very good item on the Death Prophet, as we've seen. BKB soon to be out on the Tide, and Pylai Dai, I like this. He's actually not going to go BKB. Instead, he'll go Sanj, and I have to imagine that'll turn into a Halberd. Great item to deal with the right-clicking Doom, and well, not a lot of right-click this game, but still the Halberd does stop a lot of his the Doom's potential for kills.
Right.
Ooh, this is going to be a quick Roche coming up. Third Roche in just 1 minute. And we'll see if Cloud9 can secure it. They've gotten both Roches so far. Of course, Dire Side with that minus armor gives them a pretty big advantage. And Eternal Envy, 2,400 gold. I wonder what his next item's going to be. Probably Heart. Look to tank up here. Maybe Diffusal if he wants some extra damage.
It's not Halberd.
Okay, yeah. I'm surprised to see that from Pylai Dai. 35 minutes in.
Full 5 carry strat.
Yeah. SNY's pretty good on Alchemist, but 35 minutes, good, not great. Yeah.
I mean, do they have an AC on the team?
No, but Fada... Hard to say what that'll be. It could turn into an AC very easily.
Usually when you see the transitioning Alchemist from support to carry, AC is the item.
Yeah, just get that aura for your team. Like that, the AC Vlad's kind of style.
Yeah,
play that old Doom style.
And the most efficient upgrade for your DPS is attack speed, considering your BAT gets down to like 1.4.
Yeah.
At level 3 of your ult.
Oh, Tide scouting out Roche. He'll walk out as soon as it respawns.
Jesus, it's 1.4 at level 1. I forgot it. It's 1.4, 1.2, 1. My base attack time of
Singleton. It's pretty ridiculous.
And that's usually like attack speed building is the way to go.
Yeah, that's like the one thing on Alchemist that lets him scale as a late game carry. But getting to level 16 is the hard part without getting wrecked before that.
Look at the stats. Like he's an agility carry, and look how much agility he's got.
Yeah.
naturally. Or strength carry.
Yeah, I was going to say. Pretty sure he's strength.
Yeah, he's a strength carry. But the fact that he gets no agility is really bad for his attack time.
Yep.
Which means he doesn't really like gain that much attack speed naturally.
So this will be third Roche, and looks like it'll be uncontested. Hellraiser's starting to make a movement, but too little, too late. And third Roshan will go the way of cloud9. Aegis and Cheese, who's going to get what? I know Envy's getting one of them, and he will grab the Aegis, and Cheese goes to the DP. Yeah, that makes sense. So, wow, it is a defusal for the Naga Siren. Oh, there you go. And we'll see how this fight breaks out. Doom goes in first with the Shivas, and then Doom out onto Bone 7. Great target to Doom before he ravages. Meanwhile, on the other side of the fight, Yules comes out, and Pylai Die will get isolated. The backside, though, can they find some recovery kills? Just losing the Alchemist is not too painful. Song of the Siren flies through. Bone 7 actually survives the Doom duration from some cheeky kiting. And now Fada and Eternal Envy off to the side, still holding on to the Exorcism, but there's your first Ravage. Second Ravage, almost not necessary, but they'll get 3 kills out of it. Now they go in onto Dread, and he'll be out of mana. He will be clicked down, and he will fall. That'll be a 4-for-1 trade, and sort of an odd fight, but cloud9 just split up the Hellraisers, and what could they do? Aoi was around the backside, and the stun plus the mech kept the Tide alive, and Song of the Siren plus Fada were able to distract the rest of the team so they couldn't commit to the Doom, or pardon me, to the Tide and finish him off. So
now they're eyeing that bottom exposed Rex.
And buyback status looking very grim. Pugna and Magnus, the only two with buybacks, and Pugna going to be one of the earlier ones to come up. And yeah, Magnus, well, he's the one that's alive, so that buyback not going to help him out too much here.
Radiant's middle tower.
Fada's going to pop the Exorcism. He's going to go to work on the Rex.
Yeah, the fact that he was able to save it makes such a difference here. They'll use the glyph right away, but now that he has the Exorcism, they can push into the barracks and also take a team fight. Yoki will miss the initial skewer, and Art Style doing some damage to Fada, but BKB is used. He still has the cheese, so he can pop it if he gets low. Off to the side, we'll see the Pugna fall as Eternal Envy joins the party. Melee racks go down. Ranged rocks should fall shortly after. Bone 7 with no Ravage, and will still press forward to try and zone him out. Black Hole's available on Aoi, but now he gets doomed, and Dread will possibly be able to secure a kill here. He's very tanky. Can they get the deny? Yep.
No, they're just going to back.
Pylai Die denies him, and they might lose their Fada here. He gets caught in the Yules, the skewer back. RP still available, but a nice silence from Fada. Now he's on the run. Is he going to be able to survive this one?
Cheese too.
Yeah. Does he want to eat it here, though? Pylai Die charging up the concoction.
There's the cheese.
Yep. Dubas comes in and tries to dunk, but it just doesn't matter. Bone 7 and Envy rejoin the party. Now Yules from, Shivas from Dread. He'll try to make the escape, and Yoki caught inside of the Song of the Siren. Net onto Doom, and Envy will just go to work. He'll bring him down pretty easily here. That upgraded diffusal doing a lot of damage. There's just no doubt about it.
And now so smart for Fada to not eat that cheese. It's just it's like saving your stick charges, right?
Yep. Yeah, exactly.
He baited Hellraisers out into coming out, and the rest of cloud9 was sitting and waiting in the wings for a pick-off.
They'll lose their Bone 7. Fada now takes the RP, and with the decrep, takes a lot of damage from that Mystic Flare, but his BKB's cooled down. So he'll just come right back, finishes off the Skywrath Mage, and only one lane of racks secured for C9, but they get the tier 3 tower mid, and they do a lot of damage.
Exceptionally well in this late game.
Yep.
All the right decisions.
Yep, and now Envy, following that fight, he has 4,200 gold. So whatever it is that he wants next, whether it's a heart, an eagle, or the beginnings of a butterfly, yeah, he'll have it. And
Fada has Shivas and a buyback ready.
Yeah, and now the Alk, if he wants to start working towards that Assault Cross you were talking about, 2,000 gold is a pretty damn good start. Yeah. So it looks like cloud9 might be able to
probably be the best decision here.
secure a win here. Yeah, 25,000 gold, 3,000 experience. I feel like Hellraisers are putting up a surprisingly good fight, given how much they're behind in this game.
Okay, so maybe Pilot Ice going to get a little bit. Okay,
look at this. Aoi with an
immediately went away.
Ags on the Enigma. Look at that. No Blink Dagger. No Refresher. He just wants the damage. Double Midnight Pulse, baby.
No, yeah.
Fun build.
With the Refresher already on Tide, there's really no reason to get Refresher.
You just don't need both.
Like we were saying before, it'll reduce the cooldown time.
And now if this game goes long enough where he wants a Refresher, he has the Ags. So that makes Refresher a little bit more tempting because you can triple Midnight Pulse. Is that a thing? Yeah. Oh, man. Does the Midnight Pulse that gets applied to black hole, is it only there during the duration of the black hole, or does it stay on the ground for the full duration of the pulse?
Adds current level of Midnight Pulse to black hole. I'm pretty sure.
So it's only during the black. So you can't do a triple pulse. Okay. Yeah.
Well, I mean, you can Midnight Pulse, refresh, Midnight Pulse ult. And then you
well, okay. Yeah. You can't do the double. I was thinking like a double black hole thing. Yeah. No, you're right. So Dread will just TP out. The ensnare from Envy comes a little too soon, but they'll black hole it. Howie says, "You're not getting away this time, Dread," and they'll bring down the Doom. Does he have a buyback? No, he does not. So now Cloud9 without the Doom, this will be so difficult for the Hellraisers.
I think that was a good choice to solo Black Hole because he's the one reason why they've had to back in a lot of these fights is they get their Enigma doomed or their Tide doomed and they're having to force back.
Oh, decrep dunk. Fada takes a lot of damage. Yoki comes in with the RP, but Bone 7's there with the first Ravage, has refreshed, waiting for the second one. Song of the Siren to put him to sleep and set it up. There's your second Ravage. BKB'd Yoki will be immune to it, but enough to secure the kill on the Earthshaker art style, stealing some health from Fada, but he will still go down. Buys back just about right away.
Just going to tear through their building.
Yeah, no glyph is available here, so the mid lane of Rax will fall. And Magnus now caught inside of the Yules. Art style, it's going to be a dieback if he's not careful. Stealing some health from Pylai Die. He's trying to break the tether. He'll go down, and Skywrath barely survives. Just a few hit points to spare. Fada with the Crypt Swarm wants to finish him off. Auto attack into the well. And down he goes. GG, well played. Cloud9. GG. 27-17, 43 minutes of gameplay. A little bit sloppy. A couple of whiffed black holes there, but
Cloud9 won this game by being Cloud9. So
yeah, still they just turtled up, and at that point you just can't handle the Naga Siren. That's really all there is to it. Yeah. It's just that simple.
Admirable attempt from Hellraisers to try to take the Pugna and push him down beforehand, but
I was disappointed by the lack of clowniness, though. That was a pretty straightforward draft from Hellraisers.
Did kind of needed to win that match, so they didn't need to go full clown.
Yeah, not in Clown Town.
What do you think about the Magnus pick? Like Yoki ended up playing well, but do you think it really worked into their strategy, having a mid like Magnus that can't really push when they were kind of all-inning into that strategy?
Yeah, I kind of agree. The Magnus did sort of stick out like a sore thumb a little bit. Like he never really even played well. He was 4-1 and 3. He had a couple of decent RPs, but
it is kind of hindsight, right? But at the same time, like
when you think about it, Magnus doesn't synergize with push.
No,
at all.
It synergized with fighting early because I mean, reverse polarity is amazing, but there weren't even that many good reverse polarities.
Yeah, and I think that's mostly just a credit to Cloud9. They didn't give him an opportunity for any huge RPs. There was no setup for him either. He was kind of like the lone stunner. So
yeah.
We will have a break, and then one more game coming up, guys, and this is Cleve versus Virtus Pro. So a big game for Virtus Pro, as we've talked about. They need today. Every game today, there's at least one team that absolutely needs a win. So we'll have a break, and then our final match coming up.